Good morning, students. Today I'm going to explain about the process of leading. Okay, so in this process of leading, we are going to study about leadership skills, motivation, and communication. So when we are consider about the management, so the management consists of four functions. Those are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. In the planning process, normally we are setting organization goals and formulating strategies to achieve the goals. And after the planning process, we are doing the organizing. So in the organizing process, we have to establish task and authority relationship, we have to divisions of work and labor in order to organize the task. After that, we are moving to the process of leading. So in the leading process, what we have to do is the manager or the leader, those who are motivate, coordinate, and energized individuals and groups to work together to achieve a organization goals. So in the leading process, we are mainly focused on motivate and coordinate the employees in order to work together and achieve the organization common goals. So who is responsible for this one? So the leader is the one who is responsible for this leading process. So in the leader is the one who has legal authority to execute work and also who can achieve goals and targets and win hearts to others because they are motivating and inspiring others to do the work and who can empower others. So when you are consider about the leadership is defined as the ability to influence people towards the attainment of goals. So its leadership is one of the qualities the leader have. The leader is having the ability to influence the people, ability to influence other people to they have to motivate towards to attainment the organization common goals. Okay, so this definition is set by draft 2012. And other definition is leadership is the process of directing and influencing the task-related activities of group members. So when you are creating as a group, normally there are some leaders. So those are the ones who are directing and influencing the group members to achieve the common task or common goals. Okay. So that is set by Stoner and Freeman and Gilbert in 2009. So according to the definition of leadership, leadership involved with other people, other employees. And leader have the ability to influence the behavior of group members. And also leadership is about values and ethics. So the leadership, the leader have to be motivate and coordinate the group members in order to work together to achieve the organization goals. So when you are consider about the meaning of leadership, leadership is the ability to build up confidence and zeal among the people and to create and argue in them to be led. Okay, so they have to create some kind of a confidence in order to work together to achieve some targets. And also normally the successful leader have to have some kind of qualities. Those are foresight, drive, initiative, self-confidence, and personal integrity. So these are some qualities the normal leaders have. Okay, and different situation, different type of leadership. The leader have to be perform different type of leadership roles. So when we consider about the leadership power and influence, normally leaders are the ones who are the one have some powers, and also they have to influence with others. So in the leadership is identified as the ability to use different forms of power to influence behavior of followers. So if you are influence some others, so the leader have to be influence some other employees. So that employees are the one who are the one called as followers. Okay. So normally in the leadership process, the leader have some power, and they have to be influence the behavior of the followers. So the exercise of power is a social process, and it is ability to affect behavior of others. So using the power, we can able to change the behavior of other employees. So power is the capacity to cause a change. Normally, if you are having the leader having some powers, so using that powers, they can able to change the behavior of the followers. So in the leaders, they are having different type of powers that have to be divided as legitimate power, reward power, cohesive power, referent power, and expert power. So when we are consider about the legitimate power, it's come from the person position in the organization. So if you are having in the higher position, then they have to have some they have to have some power to order something. So those kind of power come from the position is called as legitimate power. Okay. And another one is reward power. So reward power means the leader have the ability to reward the influencee for carrying out orders or meeting performance requirement. So normally the leader is the influencer, and the followers are the influencee. So the leader have to have some power to reward others in order to, if the followers are carrying out the orders or meeting the performance requirement, they can able to give some rewards. And another one is cohesive power. So cohesive power is the ability to follow an order by threatening the employee with punishment if the employee does not comply with the order. So if the employee not meeting the requirements or not following the order, the leader have the ability to punish or threaten the employee to motivate towards the goals. And another one is referent power. So referent power is rooted in trust, respect, and admiration. So normally the referent power is the follower take as a leader, or else they have to inspire or admire the leader as a role model. So influence the desire to identify or they have to imitate the the leader. So in the referent power, the influencee or the follower, they have to respect, trust, or admire with the leader, and also they have to take the leader as the role model. And in the expert power, the influencer have some specific expert knowledge or relevant expertise that influencee they are not having that one. So in the expert power, the influencee or followers, they are not having some idea, or they are not having some knowledge about some kind of a matter. So they can able to refer the leader in order to get the expert knowledge. So normally the influence is the leader effect on value, attitude, or behavior of others. So based on these powers, they can able to change the followers' behavior. So when we are consider about the terms leadership and management, Leadership and management are related, but they are not the same. So organization needed both management and leadership if they are to be effective. So when we are consider about the difference between the manager and the leader, normally manager is the one who is involving planning, budgeting, organizing, staffing, controlling and problem solving activity. So at the outcome of the manager, they have to produce the same predictable result. So the manager is carry out the policies and the strategies that have to be defined in the organization. So according to that one, they have to produce the predictable results. But leader is the one who is establishing direction, aligning people and motivating and inspiring others, and produce dramatic useful change. So they can able to motivate others. So when we are motivating the employees, we can able to get some work in an effective manner. Okay, so that is the difference between the manager and the leader. So we can differentiate the leader and the manager in different criteria. So first one is members, those who are under the manager is called as subordinates. The leader is called as followers. And position lies at manager have to be worked under formal structure, but leader can able to work as a formal structure as well as informal structures as well. And source of power, the manager have the power with the position, and leader, that is personal. Attitude towards change is status quo, and leader is the innovative. Respect, the manager have to be expect from the others. Leader have to be receive the respect from others. Type of decision making, manager have rational, logical and analytical thinking. They have to use this one in order to do the decision making. Leader is the one having the emotional and charismatic. So charismatic means an enthusiastic, self-confident leader whose personality and influence people to behave in a certain way. So they can able to influence people to do some task. The leader have a charismatic type decision making. They are having a clear vision and able to describe the visions to followers, as well as they can able to take risks to achieve those visions. And primary goal, the manager having the goal as company goal, but leader having the goal as followers goal. So what are the things makes a successful leader? So if you if you want to be a successful leader, then you need to build strong relationship with your followers. So like by everyone feels comfortable to be with, and you have to collaborate with your followers. And also you have to be adaptive. Like you have to identify and adapt to the environmental changes. And also you have to be a team builder. You have to have a great motivator, and you have to motivate your followers, and also always ready to take risk. And also you have to committed toward achievement of goals. So until now we have studied about the leadership and what are the qualities the leader have, and also what are the difference between the leader and the manager. Next we are going to study about the motivation. So when we are consider about the definition of motivation, motivation is the set of forces that cause people to behave in a certain way. So this definition is set by Griffin in 2010. Another definition is motivation is the process that starts with the psychological and physiological deficiency or need that activate a behavior or a drive that aim to at goals or incentive. So what we have to do is the leader normally motivate the employees to do their jobs and promote productivity of the organization. So the motivation process is very much important in the organizational process. So when we are consider about the process of motivation, it starts with identify the unsatisfied need of the followers. And if the followers have unsatisfied need, they have to have some tension. And from the tension, you have to the leader have to be drive and search some kind of a behavior of followers and identify how to satisfy their needs. So after that, if the leader is satisfied their needs, they can able to reduct, the followers can able to reduce the tension. Okay. So in the motivation process, the action taken by the individual will lead to the reward or goal which satisfy needs and reduce tension. So the leader is the one who lead towards the goals to their followers, and how they are going to be do is they have to satisfy the need of their followers, and they have to reduce the tension. So normally when we are think about the unsatisfied need of followers, sometimes they may have some hunger, thirst, or those kind of unsatisfied needs and some kind of problems with them. So that have to be create some tension in physical, psychological, and social manner. So you have to the leader have to be engage some activities to satisfy their needs and motivates them. So for that one, they have to search the behaviors of the followers, and after that they can able to give some rewards. So according to the rewards, they can able to satisfy their following needs, and then they can able to get a reduction of tension. So why the importance of employee motivation is needed in workplace. So if you want to get optimal condition or effort can be often increased and sustained. So if you are having, if you want to get the optimal condition from your followers, and also if you want to increase the productivity of the organization, you need to motivate your followers. And delegation without constant supervision is always necessary. So if you are motivate your followers, the leader is motivate the followers, then they can able to work without the supervision, without the supervisions. And also employees can become self-motivated. So if the leader is motivate others, they can able to motivate with themselves, and they can able to involve to achieve the organizational goals in an effective manner. And motivate employees can provide competitive advantage by offering suggestion and working to satisfy customer. So if you are just motivate the employees, then they can able to give some suggestion to improve the organizational process, and they have to be work together with the leader, and they can able to achieve the organizational goals in a very effective manner. Then the next section is communication. So normally, when we are consider about the communication, that is very much important when we are consider about the organization. So in the organization, if you want to talk with the hierarchy of level of management, so if you want to talk with the employees in the lower level, or else if you want to talk with the same level of employees, then the communication is mainly important. So in the communication is the process by which information is exchanged and understood by two or more people, usually with the intent to motivate or influence behavior. So this is the definition is set by draft 2012. So it's a process that have to be exchange the information with two or more people and intend to motivate or influence the behavior of others. The next definition is the process of transmitting information from one person to another. So the communication is the one we have to transmit some kind of a message or information from one person to another. So this is said by Griffin in 2012. So normally in the communication process that conveying the message or process of transmitting and sending ideas from one party to another party for the purpose of creating understanding the idea or information. So you have to sending the message from one party to another party to understand the idea of the messages. And communication defined as the process by which people seek to share meaning through the transmission of symbolic messages. So we will going for the process of communication. Normally, they are having some kind of elements in communication. The one who send the information is called as sender. So sender is the one they are sending the information to others. So they are sending the ideas. So first they have to be send the ideas, then they have to be go to the process of encoding. So in the encoding process, the idea and informations are changed or encoded in a symbolic manner. Then the sender is send the message in the transmission media. Then the message have to be received by the receiver. So the receiver is the one who is going to be receive the message. So in the receiver thing, first they have to be reception. They have to be decoding, receive the message, and they have to be decode the message. So the sender sent some message in the symbolic format. So they have to be decode that message, and after that they have to understand that message. So if the receiver is understanding the message, then they can able to change the behavior or act according to that one. So after that, there is a element called feedback. So in the feedback is used like normally the sender is send the message through this transmission media, and receiver is the one who is receive the message and interpret the message and understand that one. So feedback is the process that have to be used if the receiver is to understand the message correct or not. So the feedback is give from the receiver to the center. So the receiver like explain their understanding of message to the center, then center can able to identify the message that he or she conveyed that have to be understood by the receiver correct or not. And also these process, there are some noises can be occurs. So in the transmission process also some noises can be occurs so that the messages can be altered or some kind of a messages can be misplaced. So we need to avoid these noises as well. So when we are consider about the communication terms, first we look at the communication. It's transfer and understanding the message between two or more people. So in the communication process, we need to transfer message and understanding of the message between two or more people. And sender is the one who wish to convey an idea or concept to others, to seek information or express a thought or emotion. So sender is the one who is send the message or ideas to others, or they can able to give some question to others to in order to seek the information. And receiver is the person whom the message is sent, decode the message and provide feedback to the sender. So receiver is the one who received the message, and they have to interpret interpret the message and understand the message. After that, they need to provide the feedback to the center. And in the encoding process, we have to converting a message to a symbolic form. Decoding process, we have to interpreting a center message. Decoding is the process of interpreting message and translating into meaningful information by the receiver. So we have to interpret the message. After that, we need to understand the message in a meaningful format. And it's a two-step process. First, identify the message, then the receiver need to interpret it. So message is the one what is communicated between two people, two or more people. And channel is the one, the medium through which a message travels. And noise, anything that disturb, confuse, or interfere with communication. If they are having any disturb in communication channel, confuse or interfere, that is called as noise. So when we are consider about the method of communication, we are having a verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and paraverbal communication. So we will look at this verbal communication and non-verbal communication in later slides. So in the paraverbal communication is the one that refers to the message that we transmit through the tone, pitch, and pacing of our voice. And like in the paraverbal communication, a sentence can be conveyed entirely different meaning depending on the emphasis on words and the tone of voice. So if you are just, I didn't say your was topic, if you just press or empathize on say, that will be get some kind of a different meaning. Or empathize on I didn't say you, I didn't say you were stupid on the you word, then the different they can get able to get different meaning. And I didn't say you were stupid. So if you are just empathize on different kind of words, the tone or the pacing or pitch you talking, the way of communication or the way of communication with others can be different. Okay, so that is paraverbal communication. You can able to set the message in a different way. And in the organizational communication that include all patterns, network, and system of communication within the organization. Normally in the organization communication, we are going to be look at with three aspects. One is formal and informal communication. Second one is direction of communication flow. Third one is communication network. So when we are look at the difference between the formal and informal communication, formal communication refers to communicate that take place with prescribed organization work arrangement. So if you want to do some works, so we have to formally talk with other people. So if you want to formally talk with this prescribed organizational work arrangement, that communication is called as formal communication. And informal communication is organizational communication not be defined by the organization structural hierarchy. So if you are just doing some kind of a report, so you have to send your progress. So those kind of things, sometimes those are prescribed by the organizational arrangement. So that is called as formal communication. But there are some informal communication you can able to chat as group and that not be involved in the organizational hierarchy. So that is called as informal communication. So it's said by Robbins in 2012. And the next one is direction of communication flow. So there are mainly we have to be divide the direction as downward communication, upward communication, and horizontal communication. So in the downward communication, implement of goals and strategies, job instruction and rationally produces and practice performance feedback. So those are the things. Downward communication mean that communication is coming from top management to the lower level employees. Upward communication, problem and expectations, suggestion for improvement. So these are the performance report. So these are the things they have to be the lower level transmitted from lower level employees to the top level management. Okay. So in the lower level employees, they can able to discuss about their problems and expectations, suggestion for improvements of some process, and their performance reports, and if they are having any informal disturbs or financial accounting information. So those are the things can able to transfer from the lower level employee to the top level management. So the downward communication from the top level management to the lower level employees. So the top level management, they can able to give the instructions of implementation of goals and strategies, and they have to give some instruction to do the procedures, practice, or they can able to get the performance feedback, the format of getting the performance feedback. So those are the things can able to transfer from top to the bottom level employees. And the horizontal communication, the communication is happen to the same level of employees. So they are in the horizontal communication, interdepartmental problem solving, coordinations and improvement can able to talk with other same level of departmental employees. So normally we are calling this downward communication and upward communication are the type of vertical communication. So in the downward communication, I already said the communication coming from top level management to the middle level management to non-superior level employees. And in the upward communication, it's come from non-superior level employees to middle level management to the top level management. So normally in the vertical communication consists of communication up and down in the organizational chain of command. The downward communication start with top management and follow down through the non-superior level employees. And normally in the downward communication is to advise, direct, instruct, and evaluate employee to achieve the common goals of the company. And in the upward communication, it supply information to the up-level management about what happening in the lower level management. So in the lower level management, lower level employees, they have to be transmit the progress reports, suggestions, explanations to the top level management. So when we are consider about the vertical communication, what are the problems what are the problem arise in the vertical communication? So normally when we are doing the communication downward or upward, some information can be filtered or modified at each levels of managers. So for an example, in downward communication, uh, normally like they can the downward communication is coming from the top level management to the lower level employees. So from the top level management, some information is given to the middle level management. So the middle level managers, they can able to decide how to filter or modify the information to pass down the low level employees. So some kind of information can be modified or filtered. And also in the up level communication or upward communication also, informations are filtered because the lower level employees, they can able to give their progress reports, suggestions, so like they can able to discuss their problems. But sometimes that can be altered in the middle level managers, and they can able to filter uh, and they can able to set filtered information to the uh, top level management. So the vertical communication have sometimes incomplete or inaccurate, and also difficulty in reach the goals, because if you are having inaccurate or incomplete informations among the employees, then you cannot able to get the maximum productivity. And employee matters will struck some places, because normally the level of communication, sometime if the low level employee sends some uh, matters to the middle level one, but sometimes they are not forwarding those things to the top level management. And they say vertical communication feel confused, uninformed, or powerless, and might fail to carry out their task properly. And the other one is horizontal communication. In the horizontal communication, the same level of employees are communicate between each others. So in the horizontal communication, transmission of information from the same level, information follow occurring between the member of same work group or different department. Main purpose of communication is to provide direct channel for organization, coordination, and problem solving. And these relationships are important part of employees' satisfaction. So if you are having the same level employee, they can able to communicate each other, they can able to get some they can able to improve the relationship with other employees, and also they can able to get some employee satisfaction. And also this communication is happen at the same level. So in the department level, they can able to organize, coordinate very well, and also get the common idea to solve the problems. And the third one is organization communication network. So normally the organization communication network, the vertical and horizontal flow of communication can be combined in variety of pattern and form as communication network. So this communication network divide as formal network and informal network. So informal network, we are call that one as Gravin. So formal network means the horizontal flow, the vertical flow, they can able to formally give the instructions, or they have to formally do the communication with other people. And the informal structure or the informal network or the grabbing, it's not officially accepted within an organization, made up several informal communication network. Like you can able to make a group or team. You can able to discuss with the employees some personal one or some kind of gossips. So those kind of a informal team or informal network is called as grubbing. So grubbing can link organizational member in any combination of direction, horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. So they can able to these network can able to made as horizontal, vertical, or as diagonal. So these kind of gossips, clusters, or single standard. So these are some kind of a grabbing networks. So they are the employees informally talk with others with some personal matters or some kind of a gossip. So those kind of a things. Okay, so until now we studied about what is communication and what are the elements, so what are the terms in communication, what are the different type of communications. And now we are look at why effective communication is needed. Normally the effective communication is important to managers due to following reason. Because if you are having the effective communication that provide a chain of process of planning, organizing, controlling, and directing. So if you want to carry out this management function, the communication is very much important. And the globalization of business can be experienced by establishing an effective communication process. If you just communicate with the external environment effectively, then you can able to do your business in a global manner. And the serving time of both managers and other party. And also this communication is one broadest field in human resource management. So normally this human resource management, the communication as a main part. So you can able to understand your employees' problems and you can able to solve effectively with this communication process. Every aspects of human relations and managers and subordinate relation involve communication. So when you consider about the organization, everyone, every single activity, we need to talk about with others. So effective communication is very much important. So the effectiveness of communication is measured by the degree of understanding and the appropriateness of response by the receiver as intended by the center. So if you are having the effective communication, normally the center is send the message to the receiver. So the receiver need to be interpret, understand the message correctly. And also after that, the receiver have to be appropriate to response to the center. So after you receiving the message, or if the sender some questions to the receiver, so first the receiver need to be interpret and understand the question. And after that, the receiver need to be send some response to the center as a feedback. So appropriateness of response also important in effective communication. Okay. Finally, we are look at what are the barriers to the communication and how we can able to overcome those barriers. So normally, when we are consider about the barriers to the communication, complexity in organization structure, like someone has psychological, physiological barriers, and they are not having proper knowledge, and channel barriers, lack of interest, to understand the message or interpret the message, conflicting or inconsistent signals, predictability about the subject. They don't have the proper knowledge in subject, and reluctant to communicate. They can avoid to communicate with others. Poor listening skills, semantic. So they don't. Sometimes they don't need to understand the meaning of the message, and also language differences. So if you are having language differences, language barriers, then you cannot able to properly convey your message with others. And also status of power difference, different perception. Every people have different perception, so interpreting that message can be differed. Noise and information overloaded. So if you are sending too much of information at one time, that also cannot be understood by the receiver. So these are some barriers to communication. So how we can able to overcome these barriers to communication? So the first one is you can able to send direct and simple message. So if you are sending the simple message, if the sender is sent a simple message to the receiver, then they can able to interpret and understand the message in an effective manner. And have a feedback system, know whether the message have been understood correctly or not. So after sending the sending the message to the receiver, from the receiver they can able to get the feedback. So then only the sender can able to know about whether the message can be understood correctly or not. Use many communication channels. Adapt face-to-face communication. So if you are doing face-to-face communication, we can able to ask more questions and understand. We can able to interpret the message in a very effective manner. Create peaceful atmosphere in the organization. Develop good listening skills, and encourage two-way communication. So if the sender only talk with the receiver, it's not a proper one. So we have to encourage two-way communication. The sender also communicate, as well as the receiver also communicate with the sender. Follow up, be aware of languages and meaning. So if you are using different kind of languages in organization, we need to aware of different kind of languages and the meaning of words. Understand the richness of channel used. Maintain credibility. So we need to maintain who is send the message. And when we are giving the feedback also, if the receiver is giving the feedback also, the receiver gives some credibility. And be sensitive to receivers and sender's perspective. We need to be sensitive, what the receiver send the message, and also what the sender when the sender is sent the message, and how the receiver is understand those message. So these are the things are used to overcome barriers to the communication. So in this lecture, we are mainly talk about what is leadership skill, what is leadership, and who is leader. And also we little bit talk about the motivation and also the communication process. I think you understand these things, and in the leadership or in the process of leading, that consists leadership, motivation, and communication. So we need to consider all these things together, and the leader have to be motivate others and effectively communicate with their followers, and they can able to use different kind of leadership powers in order to encourage to their followers to achieve the organizational common goals. Okay, students, thank you for listening. Thank you.